Okay, we're going to do lesson 9.2. Should have your note packet out. This is the last lesson of chapter 9. Start off with Pascal's triangle. We have row values over here, row 0, row 1, row 2. You can kind of get your, come into play here. This is row 1, and then you got the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5. For your row value, you would continue this out 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, 1, 1, 7, 21, 35, 35, 21, 7, 1, 1, whoops, 8, 28, 56, 70, 56, 28, 8, 1. You've probably seen Pascal's triangle before. You get the values from the values directly above it. 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 1 is 3, and so on and so forth. So we're going to use this to expand binomials. That's why it's called the binomial theorem. We'll also use it to find individual terms of multiplying binomials. You can use the combination NCR, combinations from statistics. This is in your calculator. Under the math and over to the probability, if you hit the math key and then go over to PRB down to NCR, you should have used that in stats class. So you can find each of the individual values. So if you remember, this was row 1, this was the 1, and then it was 1 and 1, and then 1, 2, 1, and 1, 3, 3, 1, and 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And then this is the value for N, and this is the value for R. So there is one minor discrepancy, like in term 1 you actually put an R in of 0. We'll take a look at that here after a little bit. If you remember expanding binomials, if I was going to expand x plus y to the 0, anything to the power of 0 is the number 1. Then I expand x plus y to the 1. Ooh, that's a toughie. X plus y. X plus y squared. We've been doing this all year now. Square the first term, multiply the term together and double it, and square the last term. X plus y to the third is going to be x cubed plus 3x squared y plus 3xy squared plus y cubed. If you don't trust me that that's what it is, you can go ahead and take the value of x plus y squared and multiply in another x plus y, and you can hit pause and do that if you wanted to, or you could take my word for it. Now this is where you start to see where the binomial, Pascal's triangle and the binomial theorem comes into play, because this is a 1 here and a 1 here, and you have the coefficients 1, 3, 3, 1, and then you have the first term, which was x. It goes to the third, to the second, to the first, and then to the 0, which is gone. And then you have the second term, which is to the 0, to the 1, to the 2, to the 3. So this is how you can expand binomials very quickly, as opposed to actually having to FOIL things together, which is a nightmare. So if we want the next one, I think they have there for you is x plus y to the fourth. And if we take a look back at Pascal's triangle, we know the first one is going to be a 1. So you're going to have 1, and it's going to be x to the fourth. and then the next coefficient comes right off of the triangle, 4x to the third y to the 1, and then 6x squared y squared, and then 4xy cubed, and then 1 y to the fourth. So my first term goes fourth, third, second, first. My second term goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. My coefficients come right off of the table, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. It's just really wonderful stuff. So if we were going to do the next one, we're going to go straight off of the table. We're going to go 1, whoa, 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 whoa. We're going to go 1x to the fifth. We wouldn't write the 1. I'm doing it just for the heck of it. And then right off of the table, we get 5x to the fourth y plus 10x to the third y squared plus 10x squared y to the third plus 5xy to the fourth plus 1y to the fifth. And you're good. So what are we going to do when we have different values than x and y? Now you're going to know what variable you're going to raise them to. The eighth, if you went all the way down to the eighth, you're going to have 1x to the eighth, and I think the next one is 8. They all kind of fall into line. Then it's x to the seventh, y to the 1, and then it's 28 if you did that. X to the sixth, y squared. And this gets a little long, but imagine having to do it by actually foiling things out. 56 x to the fifth. We thank Mr. Pascal for making our life easier. Or maybe it was Mrs. Pascal or Miss Pascal. I have no idea. And then we get 70 x to the fourth, y to the fourth. You start seeing some, all of the degrees of each of the individual terms here all add up to 8. That's a coincidence? No. These ones up here with the 5, they all add up to 5, you know. There's lots of symmetry in play here. And now we're back to 56, and it's x cubed y to the fifth, and then we go 28. I got to go down here. And I'm at x squared y to the sixth, and we have, it must be 8, x y to the seventh, and we have y to the eighth. So we're using the coefficients, and we're getting our values. Okay, now we start actually taking a binomial other than just plain old x and y. I like to just substitute in. It's going to eliminate issues. So for this guy here, you know, this is my first term, and this is my second term. So and then my degree is 4. So we're using row 4. Row 4 is the, you know, the 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So there's your coefficients. So I know I'm going to start with 1, and then it's first term to the fourth plus 4 first term to the third second term to the first plus 6 first term to the second term to the second, and then plus 4 first term to the 1 second term to the third, and then finally the second term to the fourth. So I go first term, fourth, third, second, first, 0, second term, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have coefficients of 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And now we expand it out one more, and I have, don't forget you're raising the 2 and the x. So I have 16 x to the fourth, and then I got to do the 2 cubed times 3 times 4. Grab your calculator. It's the big 96er, x to the third. Then I got to do 6 times 2 squared times 3 squared. Hold the phone, it's 216. And then I do 4 times 2 times 3 cubed. 216. And then I do 3 to the 4th, which is 81. And just like that, we have expanded 2x plus 3 all to the 4th. That's way better than doing 2x plus 3 squared, 2x plus 3 squared, and then foiling everything together. Bottom one, going to watch out for your negatives. Your negatives. A couple of different ways we can do it. I've got my 5th. I go to my 5th row and I get 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. I get x to the 5th plus 5x to the 4th negative 2y to the 1 plus 10x squared. X squared and what? Negative 2y. This should be x cubed. This is negative 2y squared plus 10x squared negative 2y cubed plus 5x negative 2y to the 4th plus negative 2y to the 5th. I ran out of room. So now you are going to kind of bounce back and forth from positive to negatives. First one's positive. This negative is to the 1st, so that will be a minus. This negative is to the 2nd, that will be a plus. This negative is to the 3rd, that will be a minus, and so on and so forth. So you can kind of see what's coming there. I've got x to the 5th, and then I'm going to have minus 10x to the 4th y. Next one, I've got negative 2y to the 4th, so that's going to be 4 times 10 is plus 40x cubed y. Next one, the negative is going to be cubed, so it's minus 2 cubed is 8 times 10 is 80x squared y cubed. Excuse me, I missed a squared back there. First mistake of the year. Next one, negative 2 is to the 4th. That's 16 times 5. That's another 80. And that's going to be plus, because the negative was to the 4th, xy to the 4th. And then I have negative 2 to the 5th, which is minus 32y to the 5th. And there's your answer. Again, way better than an alternative of, whoops, I missed my 4th there. Good way to check your answer. 5th, 4, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 4, and a 5er. And we're good. Last thing, we can use that NCR in order to find your term value. Now, it doesn't. You can look on your sheet at row 6 or look what the coefficients of row 6 are. So let's just look at this, because there's going to be ones that you're going to have to do that are a little bit more difficult than this. Like I think your book has the 14th. You're not writing out down to the 14th. You should have to write out down to about the 9th or 10th, and that's it. So I get the sixth row is 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, 1. So if they want the 4th term, you're going first term, second term, third term, 4th term. So you know you're going 4th term. So you know you're going 20, and then you're going 2x, and you're going 3y, and you know you're going first term to the 6th, to the 5th, to the 4th, to the 3rd. So this one's cubed. Well, this one's got to also be cubed, because they got to add up to 6. And then you simplify that. Whoops, I missed my negative there. I got a negative cubed. So you do 2 cubed is 8, negative 3 cubed is negative 27, multiply them together, and you get negative 4,320 x cubed y cubed. But what if you had to do something to figure out what that is? So I'm in the 6th row, and I put in my c. And what you have to remember, if you go back to that original table that had the Pascal's triangle written as the binomial coefficients for the combinations, it actually goes 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is what you type into your calculator. It's under the math key, and then you Nice looking H. And then you scroll over to the PRB, and then you select the NCR, and you put 6 in for N and 3 in for R. I like to say it's going to be the same as the second. It'll be the same as the second exponent, because it goes to the 0 to the 1 to the 2 to the 3. And if you go back to that, and if you put this into your calculator, you get 20, and that's the coefficient, and then you just have to do your countdown for the other. So if we go back here, you can see, you know, we go 0, you go 0, 1, 2, 3. So the value of R comes from, it doesn't start counting at 1. So if it's the fourth term, it's 1, 2, 3, fourth term. So when we go to something like this, then you're going to get one in your homework that's going to say, find me the 8th term of, and I'll just do an easy one, x plus 2 to the 13th. Well, if you're going 8th term, we're gonna, and we start counting with 0, then I'm gonna need 13c. But if I count 0 and go to the 8th term, I'm gonna need a 7 here. If you think about what the exponent would be, that will give you the coefficient. Whatever your calculator gets for 13c7 is your coefficient, and then you know you're going to have x to the, and 2 to the, well, this is going to be 7. This will end up being 6, because it'll be 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And they're going to add up to 13 all the time. And this value here will always come from that second one. So you can find the coefficient by using that NCR key on your calculator. That's it. It's been real. It's been fun.